Victory, shelter.
Hello, Hare Krishna. My name is Jwalamukhi Devidasi, also known as Jwala. This is the second part of my video series called But You Have No Proof. In the first video, I was going over quotes by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And in his own words, he makes these statements. So you can look at the first video. I have compiled an essay called But You Have No Proof. It will be made available through the link under this video. My purpose in making this video is to help devotees of Krishna, spiritual aspirants who are looking for shelter from the craziness in this material world, how not to get cheated. We are seeing a time in history where hidden truths are becoming known, and the darks are getting darker, the lights are getting lighter, and there's no middle ground. I don't want you to be cheated in the name of Krishna. I don't want you to be cheated in the name of Jesus. I don't want you to be cheated at all, period. I don't want you to be cheated for the sake of being comfortable in your religious institution. The demons have infiltrated almost all aspects, all organizations with their agenda. And their agenda is not your well-being. Their agenda is criminal, horrible, bad. You don't want to be fooled. You want to be empowered to protect yourself, protect your family. And that begins with the truth. The last leg of Dharma at the present time we live in, this dark age of Kali. The last leg is truth. So I'm speaking the truth. So people have corresponded with me over the years as I put out some videos. And the question has been, do you have any proof of what you say? In the first video, I spoke about, do you have qualification to see the proof? I, years ago, had shared my experience of all of the flashbacks I was having, the body memories. It was a very painful time in my life, and I'm happy to report that I'm on the other side of it, and I wake up every day with like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm pinching myself. My life is so beautiful. So all of you who have sent in comments like, I'm so sorry Mataji went through it. Well, guess what? I'm okay. I still have flashbacks, but I'm better than I've ever been, and I'm grateful for the darkness that has brought me to this light that I'm in right now. So thank you for your well wishes. But I had gone up north to visit some friends, and I had told them what was going on for me. We were close friends, and so I had just shared my experience, and I may have spoken about this on another video, but they had received the information, and it really rattled them. It shook them up a lot. And afterwards, I thought, I don't want to talk to anybody anymore about this stuff, because at a stage in your healing, it's all you can talk about. You're like, oh my God, this is happening. It's right under our noses. Everybody, oh my gosh, this is here. It's real. And you just talk to people in the grocery store and anybody and everywhere who will listen to you. But there's very, very few people who can hear. So then you become a recluse and you go and do your own healing for years on end. And so that's where I was at the time. I was talking a lot about it, and that reaction was there. And, they actually said, I know you're telling the truth, but I'm choosing not to believe you so I can sleep at night. Right? That's honest. So I had gone home, and on the airplane, I was not talking to anybody. I was just going to keep my head down in my book and get off the plane and go home and lick my wounds. But there was this woman on the plane sitting next to me, or actually across the way, and she kept trying to get my attention. She just wouldn't let it go. So I reluctantly went over and sat with her, and she just started making small talk and talking to me about what I had been, where I was going, what's going on for me. And I ended up telling her that story about how my friends had been all freaked out. And I didn't mention satanic ritual abuse because it's so heavy, and I thought, well, just forget it. So I went around the topic and just, described some events in my life. And to my great, great surprise, my jaw was almost hanging open. She said, it sounds like what you're describing is satanic ritual abuse. I was like, oh, how did you know that? And she said, oh, I train social workers. I don't have personal experience of it, but I've been trained, and I had clients who've had these experiences. And from what you're saying, it seems that that's what your experience was. And I just said, oh my God, but I'm trying to tell people this is going on all over the country, all over the world, and they won't hear me. They won't listen. They think I'm crazy. And she just looked at me and she said, do you have a relationship with Jesus? Or have you met Jesus? And I said, yeah. Because in my heart, I've prayed. And, that's definite real shelter there. So she said, he's the only one who can hear you. Most people won't be able to hear you. Because at the end of the day, people are scared. If there's baby killing Satanists right under their noses, how do they send their kids to school? How do they feel safe living at all? So it's better, just deny it. If you're speaking about it, you're nuts, you're crazy, you're making it up. False memory syndrome. Oh, I got to get to that. False memory syndrome foundation. Ooh, can't wait to get started on that one. Oh my gosh, brainwashed people, sheeples, wake up. There is this amazing quote I want to read to you verbatim by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. This was a very, very telling quote for me. I want to memorize it, and maybe you can too. After the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those faithful to him kept apart from non-devotees to avoid contamination. Seeing this, the personality of Kali sent his representatives in disguise to pollute the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Posing as Vaishnavas, they spread their wicked doctrines and appeared so intelligent and devoted that only pure devotees could detect their real identity. So next time somebody says, oh, but Maharaj is so wonderful. He dances so nicely like Mahaprabhu, or his singing is celestial and I felt such ecstasy, or he was so nice to me. So are we talking about a very charismatic sociopath here? An expert agent of Kali? Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that's what happened right after the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's not going to happen anymore? After Srila Prabhupada comes, he gives us the way back to Godhead. You don't think there's going to be agents of Kali who are expert and empowered by Kali to fool you and pollute the Vaishnava Sampradaya, and I'm the bad one for pointing it out because I lived it? So I don't have to be a pure devotee to know who's who, because, when somebody rapes you, they're probably not a pure devotee. Just saying. When somebody's a high priest at a satanic cabal ritual, most likely they're not a pure devotee. Well, they are a pure devotee of Satan, but not of Krishna, not of Srila Prabhupada. It's almost impossible. I have to say, I'm going to give all of you doubters lots of credit here, because if I hadn't experienced the level of duality that's possible, my little mind just still has such a hard time wrapping itself around this. How do you look and behave in one way so diametrically opposed to the other way? Like the dark and light are so juxtaposed. Like how does that even exist in the same realm? But unless I would have experienced that, I could have never believed it. And I understand why people doubt. I surely do, because it's so difficult to understand that the Satanist standing in front of you is compassionate, is kind, is, got a psychological practice, an upstanding member in society. My grandfather who exposed my father to all of this was, voted the town man of the town. He was a naval captain, and I'm not trying to make trouble for my family members, but my family are those souls who want to get the hell out of this place. I'm not trying to cover up for anybody or make it comfortable. This place is hard to be in. The material world sucks. Excuse my low class language here, but it's time to get out of here. We're not trying to make material adjustments here. And I don't even care about exposing the demons anymore. I used to. That used to be my carrot on the stick. All I wanted to do was wake up and chop off their heads, those demons, for what they did to Srila Prabhupada and his movement. I just burned with rage all day long. I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was so angry. But I knew that you can't enact change from that platform. There's so many people out there who've been cheated in the name of God, who are out there on this quest, and they're just, spouting their anger and upset all over the internet. And what does it do? Just attracts more angry people. And what are you actually making a difference? So you can be right or you can be effective. And I'd rather be effective. So I've done my internal work hugely by the grace of my mentor. I've forgiven the perpetrators. I can see what's coming for them. I have pity for them. I've cried tears for them. I know what's coming their way. And there is no greater tragedy than to have been given such an opportunity. Such an opportunity. Think about this. There's 8,400,000 species of life. How rare is it to get a human form? And then Lord Krishna descends. And even more rarely, Lord Chaitanya descends. And we are in this window of time of only 500 years out from Mahaprabhu's time, where that window of mercy is available to us. And he's come to save the most fallen. People like the Satanists. He's come to save them, Jagai and Madais. And Srila Prabhupada came and initiated them. Hey, you satanic Kabbalists, come on over. Take initiation. Stop eating babies and fornicating everything. Right? Take to the process. It works. Come on. I'll take you back home, back to guided. Wholesale mercy. Lord Nityananda style. And for those persons with such envious, ugly hearts to turn around and do what they did to Srila Prabhupada, do what they did to us, the second generation, is unexcusable. The level of suffering that is coming for them, I can't even, oh my God, I can't even fathom the level of suffering that they will be experiencing. Mercy is still there. What if, hey, if you like this video, send it to one of your favorite perpetrators. One of the big cheeses at the top with tilak on. Tell them to watch it. If there's any modicum of purification over all these years, let go of your position. Let go enough. Save yourself the suffering that's coming. Admit to what you did. Turn around. Take the feet dust of Lord Nityananda. And take shelter of, Jagai and Madai, who got purified by admitting their sins. Crying in remorse. Don't stay hidden. Don't do yourself the huge disservice of going down to some disgusting little worm body, little rat body, little cat dog body, being infested by all diseases, being kicked by everyone. This is your destination. I just find it so fascinating that you can read Srila Prabhupada's books, you can go to the classes, you can do, and yet you understand nothing. Even the basics like karma, how do you not get that? How do you not get that? But Maya Shakti is all powerful. So, and I guess she fulfills the desires of the envious. So I'm just glad I was a victim in this life instead of a perpetrator, because woo-wee, whatever I did was bad enough to have the experiences that I did, but to offend the devotees, the little devotees, by raping them and continuing to cover it up, what they did to Srila Prabhupada, how they've tried to destroy this movement that has been made to save the whole world, to give us, what is this movement for? Simply for giving spiritual hope, enlightenment, a way of life that's sustainable for the entire world. And you want to destroy it for some puny little worship and power your plastic prizes? Really? The stones will cry for you, sir. Madam, give it up. Okay, rant over, looking at my notes. There is a great war coming. It is already at hand, in case you haven't noticed. It's a propaganda war. The atheist versus the communist. There are no material solutions for the situation at hand. There are only spiritual solutions. And if you are one of the sheeple people who have bought into being part of the main society, you're going to chant with all of the poison that's been touched by the lips of the serpent, and you think you're going to make a change with all of the changed books. It's not going to happen. Why did they attack from the beginning? Why have they invested themselves in destroying the purity? Because they knew it wouldn't be effective. They've had designs on this world to take it over, and that's what look out the window. That's what's going on right now. But Srila Prabhupada said that this movement, this Hare Krishna movement, could save the world in its most dire hour. And that's right now, right now. So oftentimes the material world is compared to a material ocean. And the boat of ISKCON is taking us all back home, back to Godhead. And that's wonderful and great, But let's use an analogy for understanding. So you're on this boat, you're heading back to Godhead. You've got your captains at the front that, trusted disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But somewhere there was a change of guard. And the satanic Kabbalists with neck beads and tilak, the Kali Chelas, the empowered servants of Kali, took over the ship. They've been steering the ship. They've been lying to you, propaganda wars and everything else like that. So, but you don't know that because you're on the main body of the ship. You're busy with your service, busy with your life. You don't know all of that. They're trying hard to cover it up. So what do you do with that? Uh-oh, the kids are home. Bash, bash, crying. So what do you do that? What do you do with that? Do you go and complain to the people in charge up at the helm? Oh, hey, there's some people who are exploiting and doing all these bad things. They're just going to laugh at you. It's like going to the head of the mafia and complaining about the mafia. Or do you, So I was making my second video when all of the kids came home, and that was the end of the video. Any of you parents know how it goes? So after bedtime and the next morning, here we are again, trying to finish my analogy for understanding the subject matter of the boat that we have boarded called ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And you can also expand this if you're not involved in ISKCON. If you are involved in your religious organization, it may also apply to you. So just keep your ears open, because oftentimes an organization becomes its own worst enemy. For example, the American Medical Association, they are supposed to be protecting medical practices, but really it turns into a power mafia. So it's illegal to perform procedures or protocols or give cures because the disease is part of their business, right? And it's illegal to cure it, or else you're out and you don't get their stamp of approval because you're messing with their clientele. They don't want you to get better. They want you to stay sick and keep farming you. So the American Medical Association, whereas its stated purpose is to do all these great things, is really keeping the dark mafia in place. So that's just another analogy. So make sure that your religious organization, with all of its lofty ideals, isn't actually its own worst enemy. If you're a spiritual aspirant, keep your intelligence sharp and your ears open. So the analogy that I'm using here is, and I'm just going to read it to you because I wrote this whole essay and I don't know how many people are actually going to take the time to read it. So I'll just read it here on the side. Bear with me. Thank you. Let's make use of an analogy for further understanding of the subject matter. When you discover that the ocean liner that you have boarded in good faith to carry you across the material ocean is off course, you have to look at who is steering the ship. If the command station has been taken over by ill-motivated persons, then the rest of the passengers and crew on the ship have to make a decision. First, they must recognize that they are off course. Not so easy to do while in the ocean if you don't have any navigation skills or if you trust the people at the helm. Since you didn't know the real captain in the first place, the hijackers only told you about him in their own ill-motivated way. But if you have a compass and you were supposed to be headed north, but are now heading south, then the destination you thought you were heading for is indeed getting further away. Do you, A, complain to the criminals who killed the captain and took over the steering wheel? B, organize a mutiny on board to overtake the smaller group of hijackers? C, if B, then what if most of your passengers don't have a compass and think that the current captain is still headed north? Do you spend your energy trying to convince them? D, keep your head down and keep chanting, hoping for the best. E, what if you are a person of position on the ship, and if you speak up, they throw you overboard? Where will all the people you serve go? Do you just try to keep the peace and rely on God to fix it? Or F, do you have enough faith to jump and pray the Lord catches you as you swim north? Or G, Build a lifeboat and invite as many people as you can off this southerly headed sinking ship. That's it for my number 2 video of But You Have No Proof. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.